Welcome to Bass and Bonsai. The show is about to begin. Are you guys ready for an unboxing? Who wants to see what the new Shimano Aldebaran 22 looks like on one of these reels? On one of these rods. The new reel is not this reel, but I do still have this one that I've been gonna sell, just have never sold yet. The Aldebaran 50, the original one that started it all, right? No, it's not. There was an older Aldebarans. But I believe a lot of guys would say this is the ugliest Aldebaran or the best Aldebaran so far. Will the new one stack up? I added a drag clicker. As far as I know, maybe the limited Aldebaran that was before this style came with the drag clicker, but I believe in this looking reel, only the BFS is the one that came with it. The regular Aldebaran and the MGL did not come with the clicker, I don't think. I put them in mine anyway. So, we've got a few reels to compare to this one when we unbox it, and a few rods to try it on. Where will it finally line up? If I sort of like it, don't like it, just to try out or whatever, we'll find out in a minute. But before we get to all of that, I know some of you came here for just the reel, but you're going to have to tough it out. If you guys are familiar with my videos, I might flip this around and nobody can see my true identity. Holy cow, there's a lot of unboxing they're doing here. Okay, so we got one. Let me get these out. Hang on. I know. It's you guys. Your guys' fault. I sound like I'm redneck. 2, 3, 4. That was 5, right? 5, 6. Now one of these things, 7, is not fishing related. 8. No, it's not anything kinky. 9. 9 packages from AliExpress. Probably only spent $10. No, spent more than that. But then we got the big boy. This is the one straight from Digitaka. Peel here. Why, certainly. We're getting to that. Let's start with this little dude first. Where's my knife? Okay, hang on, I'm gonna use a real knife this time. This is a real X-Acto knife. We're just gonna pop open our new, most of these should all be baits. I think one thing is not. All right, these are my little BFS crankbaits. I'm very leery about buying the littler, deeper diving stuff, because so far everything I've had from AliExpress, I'll be honest, is not really that much to talk about. Not that great. You've probably seen me unpackage them, maybe show them once in a video, and then not talk about them because they really don't work that great. A lot of them don't run real true. That thing looks cool though, but they're just so, like, when you make something like once you start talking deep divers, they need to run real true to get down to their depth before, if they, you know, either too hard or just too out of whack or not made right, they'll just swim off to one side or the other. And then sometimes just the fact they make that thing so small that it easily gets like untrue, like you catch a fish or two and then it doesn't run true anymore. So yeah, we got 2 different colors to try out. I can't pronounce any of that. I can read it. It's in English, sort of, but I can't read it because I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. So I got just a couple colors to try out. That one reminded me of kind of my favorite Mega Bass color. Lighting kind of sucks down here today for some reason. And then just kind of a chrome-sided one. As you can tell, I'm not real excited about these. I'll try them out. I may get excited if they really work good and start catching fish. As of right now, I'm not real excited about those. Okay, I got to be careful and throw stuff in the trash. I had to fire the maid. You know, times are tough. Maid's gone. Let's see what we got in here. So yeah, I know. I got to clean up after myself. That sucks. All right, we're about ready to get on a little bit of a big power BFS swim bait kick, right? Well, not so much power. But I ordered some different, if you guys remember and you follow the channel, the Meredith swim baits I had probably a couple years ago, I ordered some. I branched out, bought a few different styles from a few different brands to try out and to try the sizes. That is a very small, like on your little flashback mini chatterbaits, you know, something like that small, or just on like your micro chatterbaits, 1/8 ounce. So basically I would say these would be good for 1/8 ounce chatterbaits or little jig heads, and then like a 1/16 ounce, just little swim baits. So we got those. Oh, I'm running out of room. Hang on. Let's see what this is. This is a little, I don't know what this is. There we go. That, and I guess I'll talk about these while I'm opening this one. The Probero's square bill crankbait. Man, these things were on fire when it was cold. When the heat got on fire, they've turned off on me for some reason. And I'm going to fill you in on my thoughts on that. And I know, I'm not a scientist, so it could be totally wrong. But it seems like as soon as that weather warmed up and all the other baits started really kicking in, you know, this bait just kind of, you don't see it in too many of my videos now that the weather's warmed up and that water temp got above 55 degrees because it just doesn't seem to work as good. I'm not 100% sure why. This one actually comes with very good hooks. Those hooks look pretty good. But that is roughly the same size. You remember the yellow one with the orange belly is the first, like I ordered 1 or 2 and really have had luck with it. I can say it's a good bait. But I may get out and try to do a little more square billing. I think it's just a small bait that doesn't go real deep in the summertime, and I don't know if this is anything true to this or not. It may be in warm water, it makes it more buoyant, I'm not sure, and it just doesn't even get as deep as it did when in the cold water, which was maybe just barely deep enough to get some fish or something. I don't know. We're gonna still try that out. But that was just a color I wanted, like a, well, if you guys have paid attention, some of the chatterbaits I've been catching roughly that color, so I wanted to just try that out. The only reason I really ordered that color is like kind of off on a color, one of the only colors I don't have, because I have a bunch of those little ones now, kind of like the Dr. Frankenstein. I got rid of a lot of those. It still works good. Dr. Frankenstein's a good bait, but I went overboard when I first ordered. They were only like 50 cents and I had like a bunch. So let's finish out our swim baits, hopefully. Okay, now one of these, and the main reason I ordered them, they're kind of made out of like an Elastec material. I'm not sure if it's these or not. I'll try to find the one that is. So these are the Water Sniper. Somebody may have, I can't remember, did one of you guys tell me about these? Sounds like somebody said, have you tried out the Water Sniper yet? Maybe. Let's open them all up. And then we'll see. Hang on. Is that all that was in there? I think these are the ones that are ooey gooey and chewy. Nobody gives away free stuff. Nobody. 8 claw, lifelike. Let's just open these up. Let me just get one to see. No, I don't. I did that to that one bait and it broke right apart on me. I don't think these are Elastec. I think that's just a regular. Looks alright. I have to try them out. I guess I should have said pick up our BFS swim bait game. Not really regular size swim baits, not like 3.5 or 4.5, but like for our smaller stuff. Oh yeah, and then these, I didn't get that color, so I got that color this time around. I might try it on a few different baits, and then this one I definitely like that color, so I just got another pack. That TPR material. So we're running out of room. Let's keep going. Anybody else have a rough day at work? I got off work late. I can't even go to the gym tonight, so we're just doing the unboxing. And yeah. Okay, here they are. What's in that other package then? I don't know. Well, how in the world? Somewhere there's an opening. Somewhere. There it is. Here, I'm hoping are made just the same way. Yeah, so far they look like they are. And I'll put the link to these because this is a different place if you guys are wanting to buy these chatterbaits. But if you're watching this video and before you buy any chatterbaits, you might want to wait and see if I've come up with the dilemma that I've had with these chatterbaits. Hang on, and I'll talk about that in a minute. I'm going to get these on out of here. I want to look at them. Because I had not seen these colors when I was first ordering my first several orders. Now, Charles was tearing me up one day on topwater. He was using a buzz bait that had a black and yellow skirt. And I saw that one. I'm like, you know what? I bet you that bait will work good. But the only issue, and it may not be an issue, it may just be me. It may just be this last weekend was kind of a nightmare. But I started having struggles with hookups. And I felt I was using stiff enough rods. And it gave me a little bit of doubt that there's a possibility. Let me get this one out. There's a possibility that I picked the wrong size chatterbaits. And where did I put those other ones? Oh, they're underneath here. So we got 2 more packages, but then if you look right, here's the jackhammers I took out, and there's the only one I ordered of the AliExpress ones in an 18 gram, and it has a bigger hook which is about the same size roughly as the jackhammers. These 14 gram or 10 gram ones I'm seeing, it's a smaller hook. Now my thoughts were smaller hook, right? You'll be able to set it with a lighter rod, right? Catch the biggest bass on the smallest rod possible, right? Well, I think I'm having dilemmas, problems, issues. And just like why this bait doesn't work as well now that it's warmed up, there's no science behind it, but in my mind, how my mind works, here's what I'm thinking might be happening. And it may not be true at all, it may just be they were hitting a little weird this weekend. I think there's a possibility that with the smaller hook, probably the reason Z-Man put so much thought in when they made their first, the Z-Man original has that huge honking hook, is I'm thinking there's a possibility the fish grabs, engulfs it, hits it so, bites, gets it in its mouth so fierce that when you pull and yank, you actually open its mouth up some when or basically you're going to pull the chatterbait blade out, which in a sense is creating this, guard, keeping this littler hook from being able to catch faster than with the bigger hook. So, like say one grabs it, comes up and grabs it, and he doesn't get this, boom, you set that hook I guarantee you is going to have no problem sticking. So I think like you're like, oh man, that one, like it was stuck, it was pegged, and then the next one, like it jumps and it spits it right back out at you, and you're like, what happened? There's a slight possibility, in what I'm thinking in my reasoning anyway, that fish has it like this, and by the time you yank, it still maybe sticks them, but like, first of all, you lost some of your force just by you're pulling on this. You haven't even really pulled on this yet. In the first initial hook set, you're basically making it open its mouth, so the hook is still sliding, so it catches further out and not as hard. Does that make sense? That's what I think could be happening with me anyway. And I know somebody's like, well, you need a harder hook set, a bigger rod, bigger line. Well, that defeats the whole purpose of trying to use the smaller hooks. So I think what I'm going to do just for myself, and I don't know you guys if you've already bought some of these, I'm going to keep using those, but I think I'm going to order, what I'll probably do is just paint this head black, because I don't want to like put them up against the jackhammer with the regular size, because that probably is a better made hook. And even the little, or the 3/8 ounce jackhammer still has a very big hook. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this head black, turn this into a black and blue, take the, you know, the regular one of these in a black and blue, and just kind of throw them back and forth when I'm out fishing, and just double check my hook set deal if I tend to be getting all of these, because what it makes sense to me is that this bigger hook is kind of why maybe Z-Man Original is probably bigger than all these and a little stouter, because I think it needs to be big. It doesn't necessarily need to be that, you know, big around, but the minute you get longer, bigger, you do need to be a little thicker to, you know, keep from bending out. So there's just that possibility. You'll see the video's not out yet. Me and Charles were out yesterday, and I felt like there were a few chatterbait bites, man, and I had them on the, I think I was having issues, so I even put it on the 13 Fishing 15-pound line, and I was hammering some hook sets, and it felt like they could just jump up and spit it out at me. And now I caught some fish, but you'll wait and see. You'll see the video, and we ended up, the crazy end is the video where we ended up getting on a little flurry right into the outro, and the actual, I'm going to talk about that bait in a little bit. The, of all things, the 13 Fishing, the Chatterbait square bill, I can't remember, Jabberjaw, that thing just kicked in right at the end and was working. And that's what because Matt had told me he had luck with him. He's like, but he told me too, he goes, when it's on, it's on. When it's not that great. So I just bought a couple to try out, and it was on. And that's why I messaged him, sent him a pickup, and he's like, that's like I said, when it's on, it's on. So anyway, this is not a fishing related deal, I can feel it. Be looking forward to that. This is just to go in my truck, clip on your phone or whatever. That's the second one. I bought a couple of them from AliExpress to try out. Haven't tried any of them out yet. I thought this was the chatter. I don't know what this is. It feels heavy. Oh, this is a whole bunch of baits. I told you guys Meredith. I couldn't give up on Meredith. I just hadn't bought any in a while, so I went ahead and bought. I guess of all the colors I did try before, that color right there, kind of why I like this color right here. It just seems like in the waters I fish, that kind of either light or darker brown back with that almost chartreuse green belly, just on all kind of baits work. But some of these colors look like they might be pretty good. I don't know about that color. I'm going to try it. But that was the closest I could find to like either the deal or electric shad. And it's definitely not bright enough. But then that's a good color too. I like that color. I think the last time I didn't get it in that size. I got it in the little bitty ones, and I liked the color, but I didn't get it in a big enough size. So anyway, that concludes the AliExpress part. Where's my... Hang on, I'm gonna get, because I can't remember the name of the color. Hang on 1 second. Okay, hang on, I'm back. If you guys remember right, I went through all my stuff, sold everything to Charles for like 250 bucks, $1 a bait. So I went through my square bill box and I kind of reconfigured it, and I had a few opening holes. So now these aren't the little BFS ones. These start out at like the Digits and go up, like a 1.0 or a 1.5 on up to standard size. So I picked up this dude right here. And that's the exact one. I only bought two. This is the exact one that just went on fire. That color right there, whatever they call it. Olive something. I don't remember the name of it. But that Jabberjaw just started working. I had no luck with the other 13 Fishing square bills. I bought a bunch of different ones, if you guys remember that. they just, you know, I've tried various ones here and there, and there's all these at some point in time have gotten on a kick. Like there's a time when these really kicked in. There was a time when that little dude right there, you've heard me talk about, me and Matt were just whacking some bass up against some wood one day. That was my favorite of all time. The Cabela's Dig It, the Fisherman series, you can't get anymore. I still have some left. Matt's like, I haven't seen one of those in a long time because they all blew through theirs. I bought a bunch when they first were out. They were only like $4 baits. Even these little guys have their time. These are hunting little machines, the little Rebel bluegills, little flat-sided ones. And then, of course, there was a time when I'm almost really through the bigger. These are like Megabass knockoffs. That's a Megabass. I think I got rid of the smaller Megabass. I like this size. And the S-Cranks, or the S-Crank knockoffs, you can buy them on eBay still. Like, you can get them pretty cheap. Now, at one time, these were expensive baits. The Megabass and the knockoffs that people were custom painting were kind of expensive. So I think I've now found a place for this guy. I had a deeper diving one. Matt says he hasn't really had much luck with it, and neither did I, because I managed to get it hung up deep enough I couldn't get to it. Leads me to another thing. If you guys know of a real good lure retriever, I think I'm going to just get one, or I may even try to make my own. It's basically like, I'm looking up now at my shop light and those little deals that hang off of it. I could probably make my own that would work as good as any of them. But if you guys know like what the bait retriever, you know what I'm talking about, right? You wrap it on your line, slide it down, it hooks the hooks and the bait, and you pull it all out, and you save a lot of money in the long run, even though they're like 10 to 20 bucks. Let me know which ones you guys have used or have or the best luck with. I've had a couple different ones over the years. You definitely want the one, I think, with it's like got 3 or 4 strands of that, basically like a small chain, you know, 6 inches long. You drop it down and shake it around until it feels like you can't, and then you pull it, and usually you may straighten. The bad thing about any of that is you're liable to mess your hooks up. But if you get your $11, $12 bait back, and you know, like me, if you're like me, I have hooks like laying around from ones like, well, here's one right here. Hang on, that is a scam. This was a cool little bait. I don't think I've ever bought another one, but I have like new hooks. I broke the bill on it right off the bat. And I think this is the same bait in a different color. I think these are Booyah. Yeah, Booyah. These are actually, I've had one good day with this. And of course the Lucky Craft. That's a good, I like that color. Those work. I don't even know what this dude's doing in there. That's a new one from newer one from AliExpress. I haven't really put a lot of time in yet. It may be all right. So anyway, as of right now, I think, yeah, these Jabberjaws are legit, but man, they're high. They're like $11, $12 baits. So before I go buying too many more, I have one more coming, this exact color in the deep diver, since I feel this color is a good color, probably better than I had a chartreuse one. I already lost it. So I have, from Tackle Warehouse, I've got another one of those coming deep. I've got 4 white rattle traps coming, because you're going to see in these videos coming out, between me, myself, and Matt, losing white rattle traps, half ounce. You guys may have heard me talk about this before. I typically have that 3/4 ounce Toledo Gold and a 3/4 ounce bone one. Oh, there's a spider. Simply because I lose my half ounce white rattle traps that tend to work a lot, not all the time better than everything else, but the majority of the time, sometimes that half ounce white is a good color also. So Bass Pro Shops has a sale for $4.50 or $4.25 for which I don't really like them better, the red eye shads. But then Matt had a color up until he lost it in the pontoon on that last day, I think, in the pontoon. That video is out. And I think it was called Oyster, the red eye shad and the oyster color. And Matt's like, I don't think it's red eye shad because the eyes weren't red. I'm like, no, that's still red eye shad. They're just some colors, they don't put the red eyes on them. So I ordered 2 of those, 2 of the Booyahs, and just I'll have 4 white ones, and I have some also coming from AliExpress, white, cheaper ones, $2 baits instead of 7. The Booyahs are still 7 something. I caught the Strike Kings were on sale, but I think they were $5 on Tackle Warehouse. But at the moment, Bass Pro Shops has like all the half ounce red eye shads, and several colors anyway, were on sale for like $4.25. So I went and bought the sexy shad and the citrus shad, and I proceeded to lose both of those. One with Matt the day before, and then one with Charles yesterday, and then Matt lost mine the day before because I was like, here, we'll use mine because he lost his. So we've lost like 4 white chatterbaits over the weekend, but we got more coming. And I think Matt said he was running by Bass Pro because he's got a tournament or something at Blue Springs Lake Tuesday. Anyway, that all goes in my BFS box. Should not be adding any more square bills to this once that one comes in. All right, let me move some of this stuff. Now, as far as you guys have probably heard me talk about possibly giving these jackhammers away in a giveaway. I'm still not sure what I want to do with those because I'll be honest, there's a lot of good baits right there, and I'm gonna fill you in on a little thing that Noah does fish. You haven't ever seen Noah, or you haven't this year, and probably seen Noah fishing with me. For whatever reason, he doesn't like fishing with Dad. He likes to we go down there to those ponds, and he likes to just go, him and Javier, like off by themselves. But they're about ready to the point to be fishing with chatterbaits. They kind of just been using other stuff. So I don't know. There's a possibility the baits now, instead of selling them off or doing whatever, which I probably should have done with those ones before I sold them to Charles, just give them to the boys so they got tons of stuff to go through. Because here's what happens. They get down there, and then all of a sudden they come up, I need this, I don't have that. And I'm pulling baits out of my box that I actually am like, well, I got to replace those. So before I have to replace any other chatterbaits. And if I feel, because I'm going to test it, I don't know for sure, if it's true that these smaller ones just don't have quite the hookup ratio, they need to be a little bit bigger for the reasoning like I thought. Maybe that blade is kind of hindering and you need a bigger deal. Don't think I won't give these smaller ones the boys will be throwing, because they tend to lose baits even more than I do. So anyway, yeah, that's all up in the future. I'm not 100% sure what's going on with those jackhammers. It's a controversy that never ends around here, right? Should you cast and reel right-handed? No. Should you fish jackhammers? Yeah. Oh, and I will tell you though, just in, the fact of kind of the mindset that Matt has now since he started fishing tournaments. If you guys don't know, Matt, my cousin, started fishing tournaments and stuff like that. I definitely see the mindset of a tournament fisherman over just somebody out having fun. I know competitive edge and all that, and a lot of guys compete and they're competitive and want to get their fish in, but there's definitely a difference just having fun and, not a huge deal if you miss the fish at the boat and that kind of stuff. So I definitely see why, if a jackhammer is the better bait, the best bait period that they made, why you would want a jackhammer over all the others. But like Matt, he doesn't buy jackhammers. He fishes thunder crickets, which I looked at a few he had, and I've seen them before. I've never fished one myself because I had that stupid Pure Poison, I think. And then the other one they got out now with like the blade and the weights on the bottom. I hate those baits. But the thunder cricket does look legit. It looks kind of like a copy of a jackhammer, except they changed the blade just enough so it's a little different. Got a point to it, but does the same thing. But anyway, so I could see where somebody would choose a jackhammer over all those others, because the jackhammer definitely works. I think it's a video that's already out where you saw me. I actually mistakenly grabbed the jackhammer, and then so it was raining. I went back and I got my bait, the AliExpress one, but then I was going to do a comparison, but then I realized, and I felt the AliExpress one, and I'd already like scuffed it up. It had a burr on it from like a hook, in the wood or whatever. So it's definitely not as good a quality metal. Now there we go. But all I did was I sharpened it. I didn't have anything with me at the time. Once I got home, that bait is as sharp as it's ever been. I sharpened it back up. I just didn't pay enough attention. What in the world? Does that look weird to you guys? Look at that. I opened that up and it's just like thrown in there. That's not supposed to be like that. This is ridiculous. It's probably fine, but you guys just witness what I did right there, right? It's supposed to be in this to protect it in shipping. What a moronic deal there. That is ridiculous. As much as these cost, it's like somebody must have took it out and looked at it and just didn't put it back in its deal. Should be fine though. Got the BFS oil. And if you guys haven't watched the reel test when he unboxed his, I don't say it's a letdown, but they used to give you both. Regular, I think, what was it called? I think I have some somewhere. I've bought enough Shimano's over the time period. Yeah, they gave you, well, look at that. It's missing the label. They called it something, Bantam oil or something. So anyway, yeah, we got, we may be lucky. One thing that doesn't look good, see how that's like mushed in right there? Like maybe something's banged into it super hard. Oh boy. Let's move the box. And let's see my first initial thoughts. Let's look at it first, make sure there's not a scratch, a dent, a ding. I can tell you right now, the reel test, I think he made the comment that he thought he liked the MGL 30 color better. I can tell you right now, I don't. I like this color better. I like the original Aldebaran BFS 2016, which this is different. This is a different color. The original Aldebaran was a darker gray. There's not a lot of difference. This has a blue tint to it, and this is a gray. I'd say this is the closest color of any of them to this one, but it does have a kind of a bluish gray tint. But it's not bad. I think you could stick it on any reel. You could actually, I think you could get by with sticking red highlights on this reel and it wouldn't look horrible. The MGL 30 was a blue reel. You could just look at it and tell it was blue. This one doesn't have that stand out. I still think though, let me check that. That's free. I still feel a resistance. Let me see this. That reel is free. It could be the gear ratio. Look at that. Hang on. You guys see that? That's totally free, so that's not, it means that's loose. I just feel a slight resistance there. It feels real like free as far as smooth it feels, but as far as freed up, I don't know if that's in the anti-roller bearings or what. Yeah, like this reel is definitely feels freer, if that makes sense to you guys. Reel looks nice. In person, I think it looks like this part, the way the extra's been done right in here, definitely looks better than just a solid plastic look like, there's the Crotto. I can't really tell with the Crotto because it's got a single lifestyle on it. But like you see how that just drops? This is a way freer reel. The Crotto is. Everything is. That thing's banging around. What am I feeling? It was on my other, out of the packages. Now maybe just like the old 2016 model, the minute you get out there and you cast anything with any kind of resistance or just free, let's compare. Sound about the same. Yeah, there's like a, and we'll see once I put a single lifestyle handle on it, which I'm going to do, how well it drops. Because all of these, even when I have I set the spool tension to just let a thing drop. Like when you get up here, see how that'll drop? It's just free. There's no true resistance on the reel. Some reels aren't like that. You can't tell by this one because it's got the, but this reel, even the old Aldebaran, which is totally broke in, trust me. I feel the resistance there. Could it be just because it's new? Possibly, but it is no Calcutta Conquest, I'll tell you that 100%. When I bought that one brand new, it was like no resistance whatsoever, super smooth. Same thing with the, oh shoot, my, the Zillions. The first Zillion I bought, I think, is the freest, period. Honestly, I have to admit, I think the second one isn't as free as the first one. But it could be just because the first one, I'm used to it now and I've got it broke in. Same thing with this. Could be the issue with this one. But am I impressed with this right off the bat? I don't know. That looks a little funky. It definitely looks like it sticks way out. I'll have to try it. Hang on. Let's try it on a rod. Let's try it on. If I really like it, it'll probably, well, it could go on 2 rods, really. I'm just going to stick it on a couple others in case you guys got a rod and you're curious what it would look like on it. If I really like it, it'd probably take over the Corrado and go on this thing. The palming. Palm's good. I may get lucky enough. See where my hand rides right there? Just barely where I could. So I may not feel that dial at all as far as getting out and fishing. So it may be fine. That's the main thing I was worried about. I like Shimano's have that button is higher up, even on their low setting reels. What if I got a dud? Definitely lightweight. All right, hang on. Let's compare it. For those of you that haven't watched the reel test, I think he held it up to almost all these I have here, but definitely way lighter than this one. This one feels like a tank compared to what I'm holding this one. I picked that up, I'm like, wow, that feels heavy. It didn't feel heavy before when you're holding it up against like the Corrado. They're about the same. Let me tell you what I think. I think, man, they're about the same height. But looking at it, and you guys may know, I sold this to Charles. I couldn't make myself like this reel over the Airstream Custom. And I think this will palm a little better because it's not as, see how that's got comes to the point. There's just something about this reel, all of them that I've tried. The Alpha's Air TW, this Silver Creek, I don't know. I wanted to like these reels. I'm not as big a fan. I like this reel better right here. Dark Wolf Ultra, $61, the one I got coming. And we got to check it to see if it's got the brakes right. This is definitely a smaller reel, Dark Wolf Ultra. Nowhere near the quality. You know, you're gonna, 5 years from now, this should still be fishing. This I may have already totally worn out and bought another one. But hey, 2, 3, 5 years, $60. Oh well. And it may still work. It may just start getting some issue with it, and I may ship it on down the road to Noah or whatever, and then buy another one. These are like $280, $300. Well, some of you guys are paying like $360. I think I got this for $287 off Digitaka. So the Corrado is definitely, what's weird is it looks like the Corrado doesn't set any lower. It's got a smaller side plate. Let's see how that does. Let's check it real quick. I'm gonna see how they feel on a rod compared. And it's still hard to beat the old Aldebaran for everything. Yeah, this should palm smaller filling than even the Aldebaran. But probably not this. I'm gonna compare it to this one again. This thing, The Dark Wolf Ultra is just not dropped down enough, and I don't know if it's because they couldn't do it because of the, I don't know why they couldn't do it. They should have. It's almost a direct copy of the Corrado, except it sets up higher. Still palms real good, real smooth palming, but yeah, it sets up a little bit higher than the Corrado. Okay, let's try this again. Let's try it on a different rod this time, because there's also a possibility, if I consider the Shimano 22 Aldebaran the best all-around BFS reel, I might want to run it on what I consider the best all-around BFS rod, the Teton. So let's just slide it on there. Let's get a gander at it. You guys remember that word gander? Have you used that in your vocabulary here lately? Let's get a gander. Just looking at the color, it's almost too flashy in that hint of blue with all the red. I know some of you guys don't care about none of that. Let's see, I'm just checking. This is one of the best palming reel seats for like making something feel even smaller. So if you got a bigger reel, or it doesn't really matter if you wanted to use a bigger reel on a Teton. But that definitely feels small. Let me see. No, I think the Corrado still feels, I don't know if it feels smaller, but I think it still feels better for palming. Let me double check. Honestly though, I don't know. I don't know. I think I like this. I think I like how it palms as of right now, because your thumb, see where my thumb, I just have the right hand size to where how I grab, unless that starts bugging me, I think I will like how this palms. Feels good. It may feel a touch bigger than the Corrado, kind of the same way I like the Zillion. Feels even bigger than that, but it's just everything feels good. There's like no weird crazy edges that will start annoying you in a day's fishing or whatever. I don't know, that's hard to beat. I'd swear it feels like this reel goes in my hand a little more, but my thumb rests like the same way, but I got a little more stuff pushing into the inner part of my palm with this reel, which actually can make it feel like a better feel. Like you're holding on to something small, but you got a better grip on it, if that makes sense. So I think it's very close. They may have a winner right there. Let's try this thing. Yeah, it feels kind of like the old one, except you don't have this point to either decide which, do I want my thumb to set there today or here, because right in the middle just feels like it shouldn't belong there, because it's like something's, and it doesn't hurt, no, it just feels like something's poking your thumb. You're like, oh. So yeah, I can definitely, for me, this, I always thought palmed real good until I got a Corrado and it palms better, but this is definitely a better palming reel than the old Aldebaran, the outgoing one, for those of you with any doubt. So that means it's going to be, should be better than this Dark Wolf Ultra too, to me anyway. Yeah, I don't even have to mess around any longer. It palms better feeling than the Dark Wolf Ultra and the older Aldebarans for sure. Maybe not the real old Aldebarans. I haven't palmed one of those in a while. But yeah, this thing just palms weird. It's a small reel, but I just put it on, and I can tell you right now, out of the newer Alphas variants, they look and feel small, but it's weird. Because if you guys can see my thumb, like with the others, I just want to grab that thing and close my thumb. It's too far back. It would have been better off to have this reel actually a little bit further up, and I probably felt they didn't need to because they got the T-wing deal. But that is definitely one of the issues like I have. Now if you palm back here, you may actually like this reel better. Put your thumb right here kind of deal. I don't know. I definitely So out of the reels you guys are looking at, let's do a little thing here, a little reel test. Right? That dude's out. He's dead last for sure. And I hate to say it, I'm sort of a Daiwa fan. I'm not a fanboy, but I like Daiwas. Maybe not better than anything else, but he's out just because it just rides higher. It's got a good, comfortable feel, but it's up higher. This one is still right there. This one is actually the next best. It barely beats out that dude and that dude, but it's close with this dude. So it's between these two. Let me double check them again. Let's just kind of a little competition right here. So here's the newest reel. Feels, and I'll try to point out what I'm talking about and why. And it's not a huge deal. This is me and my going down a rabbit hole of palmability and how well they palm and what just feels good. So see where my thumb, I can just drop my thumb down. I don't have to move my thumb back, move my thumb forward to get it to set. I grab that reel right there by the reel seat. See my fingers, it feels like they got places to go. I'm not jamming them into each other, none of that. There's like, these two go back here onto the rod. I got a grip there. I got another grip here with this one holding on to the reel, which lets me kind of be able to do that. Not that I really need to, but in my mind, if I'm fighting a fish or whatever. And then this one up here, sometimes I'll do it different ways. I never come up here. I always keep it on the rod. If I'm fishing a rod that is perfectly balanced, it's just right here. See how that's flat? That feels good. And so I would keep it right here. Now if I had on a rod that was tip heavy, I may be up here while I'm reeling, just to give me an extra little. But then when I set the hook, I just I grab, full grab. And I've been known to do it too. You might see me pull, and I'm using this hand to pull the handle as I'm pulling with this kind of deal. But this just fits right in there. Feels small. I think that part of it, the way that it's designed, let me try to compare the reel seats. Maybe make it not palm smaller, but more comfortable even than hang on. So yeah, this one's the same kind of way. Like that part back there feels about the same. If anything though, it feels like I got less here. See how that's so smooth? It almost feels like this finger wants to slide into that finger, which is still comfortable. Like, it's not bad. And then same kind of deal. That's real good there. And then my thumb falls right there, which is flat, but there's not a lot there. I'll be honest, there's not a lot there. But this reel palms so low and comfortable that it is hard to beat. But I would almost swear, you see how I'm grabbing it, that I don't have as much in my hand, it feels like. So let's just try to see that. Is that the difference I'm feeling? Is that any different? I can't really tell. It may not be a bit of difference. Yeah, there is a difference. So what I'm feeling and why I have to give it to the new reel, I don't know if you guys can make out. I'm trying to hold them where I can tell if it's making a difference or not. I swear this back part of the reel does just that part. You would think maybe, that might dig into you, but no, it's smooth, so it doesn't do that. This is real rounded. Which although it feels good, I don't know. I know I'm going way crazy. I give it to this guy. So far, this thing does feel very nice. We're just gonna have to get it out. Use it for one thing, and then see if I can get it to free up any. And see how loud it is. The older Aldebaran had them spool bearings that were crazy noisy. You guys remember that, right? Not as noisy as ceramic bearings. How did this thing open? Oh boy. It did. The deal says open. How does this one open? I thought it opened the same way this one does. Just push down, right? Push down. Let me see. Thought I tried to push down. Make sure that opened. Okay, there's close, open. Do I not push? Yeah. Dang, that was just stuck. So there's our new brakes, our new our new spool is stuck. I guess we could weigh it just so we see if mine's like, I don't even remember what the real test weighed or what they're supposed to, I don't remember none of that stuff. Let's try it. It's got that little bearing. That little bearing is stuck. .61. So you guys tell me. I can't remember what it weighs without the bearing. Definitely little light. Should be an awesome deal. But and then somebody made the comment right off the bat, and they're like, "How can you not call that a BFS spool, Charlie?" When I said, "Well, it's an MGL spool. It says right on it." That is not a BFS spool. This is the new Shimano Aldebaran BFS that they stuck an MGL spool in. Now, does that mean they're not going to make a BFS or an MGL and they're just kind of combining them together? But if anybody is making a BFS spool, I think there's already one out. There was one out real quick. Well, yeah, it's real simple to make a lighter spool than this because you just simply put holes in it and you got a BFS spool. You got a lighter spool than what they came with stock. So, I mean, just look at the other Aldebaran BFS 2016, the limited Aldebaran before with the red spool. A BFS spool is going to be pretty much lightened up as light as you can get it, right? So do they plan on to Shimano themselves or Yumea or whoever coming out with their own, just a way to make more money and they don't have to really make an MGL Aldebaran or whatever, they just sell them, both kind of deal. So they can basically put this one out, and it should, since it doesn't have a lot of holes chopped up in it, right? It's going to be a real strong, so you can kind of power BFS, all around BFS, and then whether they didn't want to fight with messing with it because they know everybody's going to come out the aftermarkets or they'll have their own, then there will be a true BFS spool. This is not a true BFS spool. It may smoke a lot of whatever else is out there just because of the technology is, it's a more advanced, it's brand new, 2016 to 2022, they've come a long way, right? But I would have thought if they were coming out with a true BFS spool, you would have seen basically as light as they could have gotten that to throw the, and that has, man, I'm telling you guys, I'm not joking. I want to like this reel. You guys heard me talk a lot. I'll talk real good about how I still like this reel. Corrado BFS, the original Aldebaran. But for some reason, and it wasn't all the Aldebarans, but the BFS for sure had a resistance to it. And this is a 50, so it's like it's a lower gear ratio, which they typically do spin like a freer filling because you have more power on this end. So this thing feels crazy free. It feels as free as any of these others. This one, the XG, and the real test, I thought he said his felt, good, but I'm just telling you guys, I don't have a reason to lie. It feels like there's a resistance there. It feels like something ain't right. And I'll be able to test it for you guys. Well, let's just test it right now. Do we want to test it right now? Hang on. Oh my God. No, we're over an hour. Are we? No, we ain't over an hour yet. Hang on. I think I can show you guys what I'm talking about right here. Let's test it. Now, I'm not going to do it tonight. Like I mentioned, it's been late. Hang on a second. Oh, let me get my little deal here. Hang on. Okay, I'm looking, trying to figure out what handle I want to get. Because normally what I do is oh my God, I hooked myself. I guess we could look at some, oh no, is that the clicker? Oh, I hate that. I hate them when they're like that. That's the clicker thing. I didn't mess it up, did I? I do not like these style of clickers, just so you guys know. 13 Fishing and Shimano. I hate those style clickers. So awesome technologies went into that handle. We don't care. We don't want it. We don't care. Okay, let's go with this guy. We'll give it a benefit of a doubt. We're going to go with a little bit of weight there. And I could maybe show you. You know what? This is the one I think I want to go on it. Because that's the one that came off. This is the actual one off of the... I had it on the Calcutta Conquest, and I took that off so it's a Charles. I got to find some pieces real quick. Hang on. First of all, if you guys don't know about those, little bitty adapter spacer. So you put that on. Oh well, just for test purposes, we can put, well, let's start with this one just because. So we're going to put that on. Put the nut back on. Man, there doesn't look like there's a bunch of threads for a thick handle. Okay, we're just going to stick this on for now. Now look at that. You see that? Let me show you guys again. Look at that. So look. See that? That's free. If that spins that free for that long, and that, wow, that does spin a long, look at that thing. Jesus. Hang on a second. I didn't realize how free those bearings are. That thing spins forever. Look at that. That's good. Here's what's bad though, look. So that's not tight. If that was tight, that wouldn't do that. So where's this resistance? You guys see that? That's insane. And it's really not a ton. That it kind of does exaggerate it, make it look. But see, watch this guy. See that? Like, whoop. You put it out there where the weight's already out here. Whoop. Free, right? That's ready to cast. I got this slightly, takes away side to side play and puts just a slight, like if I were to put a bait out here on the end, like a 1 gram, or sometimes I do 2 grams. It depends on whatever, but it'll drop. But when it hits, this will only spin like maybe 1 full rotation or so, if that. And that's the way I like them set. So, and then all these are set that way. So you guys see that? I'm hoping because it's brand new, the anti-reverse bearing maybe, just somewhere in there, there's something bearing, something's a little tight. Once I use it, that'll free up, but it definitely reminds me of the old 2016 model, like you could just always feel a resistance on that reel. Look at that. And probably not as bad as this one. But then once, like I'm turning it, there's no noise, there's no, it's as smooth as you could ask for in a reel, but as far as free, there's a resistance there. Let's try to turn it. I'm trying to show you that I think it's like a consistent resistance, which tells me it's not like in the gears. Like, it's not a, the gear tolerances tighten up somewhere then loosen. I don't get that feeling. I get like something is just too tight inside here. Could it be? Let's try that. Let me try pulling this in or out. No, it's nothing like that. Could it be in here? I know. Is it this one of these reels? Is it this? Is all these reels now have like that plastic worm gear thing that I kind of don't like? But this thing's crazy free. So, I'm talking coming out of the Shimano camp, the Greatest BFS, free. The brand new 22 Aldebaran. Look at that. This is crazy free. I can't really test it against any of mine because they don't have the... Look at that thing just spin. Well, I could test against this funky thing. I've got Probably have a little more spool tension on it than that other one, but see it. This feels way freer though as far as all the other internals. So I'm gonna loosen this just to make sure it doesn't click. I can't feel it. No. I'll loosen it even more. Okay, so I got tons of side to side play. I'll have to readjust that for sure, which I always do. I know how to do it. I still got resistance. See that? Like I have to make it go. And I know you're like, well, that cork is heavier, but they're not that big a difference. And if you guys know anything about cork, the regular cork is lighter than this press cork. This press stuff is like a lot more dense and heavy the way they make it. And it's rubberized cork stuff, so trust me, it's heavier. But it shouldn't matter. Like any weight out there, if it's free, it should drop. See how it just barely drops? That is not good. It'll be fine. It won't affect how it fishes, and honestly, once I'm out there with line and bait and all that, I probably can't even feel that. But if you're in a store and you grabbed one and you'd be like, whoa, what is that? What am I feeling? So yeah, hang on. I'm gonna read some comments. I'm gonna get out of here. Yeah, I see what you're saying. And then are you the one that were the first one talking about this, right? I don't know what your channel is called. How to say that? RNR Foru. Anyway, about the Dark Wolf Ultra not coming with the deals. Mine should be here. I'm hoping like it could be here this week. And I'm gonna compare it, and if it does have the fixed magnetic brakes, I'm gonna do a shootout between this one, which casts awesome, does have the braking system working the right way it's supposed to be. It's got the little springs, it's got the magnets added. So what I'll do is I'll take the stock one that comes in the mail from AliExpress, and if it doesn't have the springs, I'm going to cast it just by itself up against the one that does have the springs and the magnets. Then I will add the magnets too, because I bought a ton of magnets back when I bought some. So, and then we'll try it both ways. But if it does come with the springs already on it, I'm just going to slap the magnets on it, and I ain't going to worry about a little shootout thing, because there won't be no need. But we are going to shoot this guy out against, that's Charles's now. I forgot to take it down. I went fishing with him. He paid me, but I forgot to give him the reel because it was still at home. We will do a shootout. I may include this reel in it. I'm definitely it's going to be going up against the Dark Wolf Ultra, my Airstream Custom, which is just out of the picture right now. This reel, probably, I ain't gonna lie, probably my Zillion with the Chameleon spool. And we're probably gonna throw a 1 gram trout magnet, the 1.5 or 7, 8 gram little, I call them jelly beans. You guys call them beans, magic beans, little crankbaits. And then we'll go up also. We'll go to like a 4 or 6 gram bait. And then be looking for it. I'm gonna put the Zillion SV boost spool to the test again, which there's a video out there if you want to go back and look. At what point does the SV boost spool beat these reels on the lightweight stuff? Like, so 2 grams, 4 grams, 6 grams, then it'll actually cast farther than you can with these BFS reels, right? With say 10-pound test. I believe I think I did sort of that, and I want to say it was as low as like 4 grams. It was somewhere around 4 or 6 grams. I could actually get more distance with the, because it's a 34 millimeter spool, even though I didn't have it spooled all the way, with that SV boost and the Zillion over these little reels. And so this guy wasn't in that batch, so that's why I'm going to redo that. There's a couple tests will be coming out hopefully this week, and then we'll get out this weekend, probably when we're fishing with Charles, maybe with Matt also. I'm not sure what kind of fishing I'm going to do, and we'll get on the water also, what I think of this, how it works, and get some fishing in on it, and see first of all if it freed up or just what I think of this reel, and see if this, I can tell you right now, if this doesn't bother me, that little bit right there, I will be keeping this reel and using it, and it'll just be like my old Aldebaran 16. I'll just freaking have to get used to the fact that it has more resistance than any of my other reels when I'm sitting here messing with them. Because if it casts better than the original 2016, and by all looks of it, it should, and then there's crazy spools you can already get for it that are true BFS, not MGL spools. I think I'm gonna like this reel. And thank you once again to Brew Tank Outdoors, which he keeps wanting me to give away stuff. I haven't talked myself 100% in on the jackhammers yet, but he is the one that told me Digitaka has those in right now. It's like 5:40 in the morning. I'm getting ready to walk in at work. I'm like, oh man! So I stopped and looked up. And sure enough, there they were. And I'm like, did the stuff it took to, all the whatever you go through, filled out this, got it coming. It wasn't late to work or nothing, but. And so I was like, oh, thank you for letting me spend $300. But I am glad he told me, because it did go quick. Like, he messaged me again. He's like, you better hurry. That says last one. And I'm like, I already got it. So thank you again, Brew Tank Outdoors. I'm thinking I like this color. It's going to probably take a certain rod because it does have a blue tint to it. It is way better than the MGL 30 in my opinion on color-wise. It's probably not as nice as because it was a more silver gray, the Aldebaran 16. I had no issues with the color of that reel. I liked it a little better than this Aldebaran 15, just a standard one. And I know I thought about taking this one, doing whatever it takes to get a BFS spool for it, and changing the gears out because it's only a 50. It's a little slow for me. Same thing with this reel. But I'm not going to do that to these reels. I don't even know what I'm going to do with them. I need to just sell them. Alpha Zito AI. I love this reel, but it's too slow. It's got this aluminum like 5/8 to 1 gears. The spools, none of the spools are really what I like for just freeness of casting lighter BFS stuff. Even regular stuff. These old school spools suck to me nowadays. At one time they felt awesome, but technology, right? So anyway, guys, I'm out of here. It's over an hour long. I think I've outdone myself on how long you sit and hold a reel up and go, ooh, look at this. If you guys have any questions, let me know now. I do like the way, just looking at them. At first, I thought they definitely took a step back. I'm like, what are these clowns doing at Shimano? Just making stuff and making tons of money. These morons, right? But no, and Shimano's done it. The Real Test did make a comment. He's like, well, I've never known Shimano to put something out that was like, I'm like, I have. Do you guys remember the Corrado E and the Chronarch D, then the Chronarch E? Yeah. A lot of guys will still swear them down that the Chronarch D should have never been taken off the market, and the Chronarch E sucked because it was just a Corrado E that had been changed, a few things changed, and they charged more money for it, right? Yeah, I remember Shimano. I remember. But I do like I think they definitely changed it just enough. The fact they got that smoother. I just needed to see about this and what I think. Oh, I didn't even turn that yet. I'm trying. Hang on. Actually, right there, the fact that you can do that and it does turn. But I was just trying it like this, kind of like you had to with the old one. You only had a little bit to grab on, and it felt like it sucked. But yeah, I can see where now you can kind of do this and it turns pretty easy. Like the Real Test said though, that is definitely, it looks kind of cheap and it is hard to read. I'm gonna try to make myself like it though. I've seen enough just in holding it and the way it seems legit. We'll try it out. I don't know why mine wasn't in the wrapping. Seemed to made shipping. I don't know if we'll have to see what I think about that. I like the way it's still up there high, and I don't mess with mush. Mush doesn't matter to me. If they're way too crazy, I may say something, but I have a lot of reels that the Dark Wolf Ultra does wiggle around. Doesn't bother me one bit. What bothers me more is if I feel my finger slips off of like my thumb, like when I push the button, I feel like it throws me out of place for my thumb on the spool. If I got to think about that, I don't like that kind of button. And so far, the old original Aldebaran
2016, 15, 16, whatever, all these, this style. That is probably one of my favorite thumb buttons. I do like the Zillion now, but it's probably not quite as nice as this one was. And I believe this is the exact same way. The Corrado is the exact same button as the Aldebarans were. So I like them. Not sure if I like this, but you guys know the deal. Even though it's like a $300 reel, if I don't like that, if I feel like it's slick or something, it's definitely high enough up, so I won't need to do anything there. I may add just a slight film of some kind of tacky tape or something just to not have that slick hand slide off kind of deal. Right? So far, yeah, I like it. We'll probably do a test with the trout magnet with like this 2-pound test line somewhere I got laying around. Just a real quick, just so we'll know. But then this is going to get, if this is going to be an all-around BFS reel, which it should be, MGL spool kind of deal, it's going to get 10-pound braid, which this has on it, Dark Wolf Ultra, the Corrado has it, the Lingle, which I don't have out here, because the Lingle don't really compete when you get real low. But all-around BFS, I may put this up against the Lingle, possibly. And the only reels that I run 6-pound on would be the Silver Creek, the Airstream Custom, and the Zillion Chameleon spool, because they won't allow you to run 10-pound test braids you can't get enough line on. That's why they are limited to ultralight only. There's no way I would put these reels for an all-around BFS. Unless you're that guy that only fishes 6, 5, 4-pound and you like throwing heavier lures also, then yeah. But like for me, my BFS, no. All right, guys, I'm out of here. What? Wait a minute. Yeah, the Dark Wolf Ultra. Yeah. Yeah, and then, and are you guys familiar with his channel? It's a capital RNR, and then a 4, and then a capital ROO, right? If you haven't checked out his stuff, BFS stuff, where are you located? I can't remember, like way overseas somewhere, across the pond, right? Over and across the pond and through the woods. But anyway, he was saying the same thing. Well, like I've said, because I'm going to put him in the test, he feels like maybe there's no difference. And that's why I was telling Charles, because before they checked his buddies that is left-handed, they basically, I think him and Charles both, because I forgot the magnets, like I forgot this reel this go around. I went down to Charles's, forgot the magnets, had to take them the next week. They were fishing those reels with no magnets going, these things work pretty good. Charles put the magnets in, it's like, yeah, mine's a little better. And then he checked it, he's like, oh yeah, mine still does have the springs. And then he checked his buddies, and he's like, no, my buddies don't, but it still feels fine for him, you know what I mean? He was casting it without the magnets, put the magnets in, and is still fishing and using it, and, you know, so I'm hoping mine comes with the springs. I'll just put the magnets to be done. But for you guys and for the channel, and just so everybody will know, I kind of also hope that I got one that if they're all going to be like that, fixed, and I'll put it up against this guy. And then if I honestly can't tell the difference between, say, a 1-gram trap magnet, the 1.7 gram little crank, or a 2-gram bait, you're just probably like not a big deal. Maybe that's what they did in testing. They're just like, well, just open it up and let's try it. And like, oh, it's fine. It's good. It works good. I still think there's got to be a slight advantage to letting those things jump around a little bit, you know, with under a spring loaded deal where they go back and then they come out. So all I need now, if you guys know how I can get on the list of Cast King, the new, what the heck are they calling that thing? Kestrel Elite or whatever. I would go ahead and spend the money, I guess, get one since I got this one to put up against it. Okay, so Nate jumped on here. Nate says, I think you'll really notice on the start of a cast with the fixed magnets, like it'll be dragged a little bit. Well, it's kind of like, you know, Silver Creek also. Silver Creek has the fixed inductor thing, right? So it is same kind of deal. So it should be, I don't know, a lot of guys tell you it's a more predictable cast every time, because it depends on how hard you cast is whether or not your rotor deal comes out or how much the magnets move. But and this thing casts awesome. And my thoughts are, you won't notice on the initial start, you won't notice through most of the cast. My thoughts are anytime you're doing just like what Mega Bass, what Daiwa and Shimano do, and the point of that is, and the minute you fix them like all the way full out, and so you only got a dial to move them in and out closer to the magnet, but once you get a setting you like, they won't go any further, like they won't go closer or further. So when you've set it to that, that means while you were casting, they were just right there. It's going to be more breaks than you need at the end of the cast. So towards the end, it's going to choke it up and it's going to restrict the distance to where when you have a dynamic magnets working, you're adjusting it to where you cast hard and you cast harder, and the magnets are popping out more and closer to the spool and slowing it down. So when you get that, then you can do an easier cast, and maybe the magnets didn't need to do this, right? They didn't need to come out because you didn't throw as hard. The spool didn't spool up as much. It didn't pull them. So it lets you go from just a flick or whatever to then a harder cast, and you still get distance and all that. In my thoughts, it only helps. It can't hurt. So the minute you restrict that and you just stick it wherever it's at, you're going to start cutting down on, and it may be a better overall casting. Like it may be more forgiving casting reel than with the ones with the dynamic magnets on the braking system. But I think you're going to lose overall just the ability to, I don't know, get distance out of whether it be a light cast or a hard cast once you do that. Same reason I think that I like the Zillion, that SV Boost spool. It's got two separate springs basically. So that lets you cast crazy hard, and it pulls the spring, the second spring, the boost part of it basically goes out even further, slows it down. The minute it kind of does its job and that spool rotation gets to as slow as it needs to let that spring, the spring forces the rotor back down some, then you're back to like a normal SV amount of brakes, which a lot of people say is still over braked. But then, so if you've adjusted that right, and that's what with me, and you guys have heard me talk about, I think the real test needs to redo the Zillion, is the fact I don't think he was casting that boost spool hard enough and setting it right. I think he should have set it, or I tried to do is set it kind of tight and cast like crazy hard and then loosen it up, because what I want it set, for me anyway, not really even in testing it, but as far as when I'm out on the water, I want to try to get it set to where I can cast almost as hard as I want and it won't backlash. I won't go nuts. And I'm not quite there yet because I tend to run it like on 3 and I do occasionally backlash. But 4 is almost, for most times, 4 is too much. But 4 is where you need to be when you're in the wind. I ain't gonna lie. You're throwing like a buzzbait, a spinnerbait into the wind and unpredictable, it could start spinning around. That's when I have my issues with backlashing on, well, almost any reel, but especially the Zillion because I run it so loose, because that boost, when you throw it super hard, it does kick out. The problem is if you throw it super hard and it's super windy and your buzzbait decides to do a super twirl, guess what? Yeah, super backlash, right? All right, guys, thanks for joining in. Thanks for commenting, Nate. And I don't have any idea what your name is, just like I call the real test because I don't know his actual name. RNR Foru. Thank you also. And don't forget, guys, check out his channel. I don't think Nate's got a channel. Eugene doesn't have a channel. Jay doesn't have a channel. I think probably Jay and HP are probably asleep. Charles probably asleep. Charles, here's a real quick. I know might as well go for a record. Hour and 20 minutes in. Let's go for the record. Charles's boat, you'll see us fishing in. Charles getting ready to go through that thing. That dude has went nuts. He just ordered. He had a 55-pound thrust trolling motor. I think he ordered 85-pound thrust trolling motor for the back just to push it. He ordered a new 55-pound foot control for the front. He's going to revamp, put a casting deck. Like that's going to look like a whole new boat, kind of like Tiny Boat Nation and as a SB Fishing or whatever. You've seen them do some cool decked out John boats. Charles doing something like that with his. The most I'm going to do to mine, I might try to buy the rear trolling motor he had on his, because it was crazy, 55-pound thrust, but I swear that trolling motor was more, because he like set me down I don't know how many times when he hit that thing in that John boat. But I may try to buy that, just put on the back of mine to move it faster. And we're going to be out fishing with Matt more in he's got a Skeeter. I think he said it's an '07. I can't remember how long it is. With a 200 freaking Yamaha, that thing flies. We were in a no wake lake maybe, or no, I think that can be a wake. I don't know. Anyway, we were hauling the mail, but we may go out and do some tournament fishing with Matt. Now, I'll just like, because I think he does the buddy tournaments or the 2-man tournaments or whatever. He's asked me several times. I've always like, nope. I may get out and do one. You guys comment. You think I need to go out and do tournaments? Jay's already commented. He don't want me to get no part of a live scope. We were checking that out a little bit, but we honestly didn't really use that. But we did do better. You're gonna see a video coming out. We spent the last 3 weekends. Matt's been hitting this lake. He's hit it in a John boat twice every weekend, and then last weekend we went out and hit it in his bass boat. Kind of using the live scope, but kind of really not. I mean, I don't know. I think it was just we were like more into it kind of thing, but we definitely caught a better class of fish when it was just me and Matt in that bass boat. And you'll see that video coming out. And I got nailed like twice. As far as Matt, if you guys watch Matt and Maddie for that matter, they set the hook. And when they set the hook and there ain't nothing there, or it's a real little dink fish, it's coming right back at you. So I got smacked twice, once in the gut, once in the chest. During that outing, I'm like, let's fish out of the pontoon where I can sit up front with you and not worry about being smacked from being in the back. Anyway, Charles, this one's coming. I may put this in the shootout too. The Airstream Custom and the Silver Creek while I still got it if I do it this week. Charles don't care. Against this dude, along with maybe that, just to get a baseline. This guy ain't going to be in no shootout. Anybody want to buy that? I've been trying to sell this forever. Matt didn't even act like he was interested in it for. He's got an old Corrado that he likes. He should buy that for $100. I was going to sell that for $100. Somebody locally, so I don't have to pay shipping. It's a freaking Corrado Aldebaran 50. It's got some scratches right there. Yeah, somewhere right here. A little scuff there, a few scuff things there, but other than that. Got a crazy noise. I oiled both or all this whole spool bearing stuff, and it's real free. I added a drag clicker, but when you cast it, it makes a howling noise. I don't know what's up with that. I may try to. I don't know. I should probably put it on a reel and just keep using it. There's nothing wrong as far as the actual working and using, especially now that I got back into Corrado business, right? Or Shimano business. I got a Corrado, 2 Aldebarans. I've got, wait a minute, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I sold this to Charles. So I have as many Shimanos now as I do Daiwas. I got 2 Zillions and a Airstream Custom Alphas. Well, no, I could take that back. I got this one, but it's going bye-bye. I have 4 Daiwas. I had 5. I sold that one. This one's for sale too. Jay? Buy it up, Jay. $100. Drag clicker installed. They sell like a $53 spool on AliExpress. This thing would definitely be a good BFS reel then. And I have gears. Actually, if I sell this for $100, I'll give you all the gears I got with it that you can switch out. But I don't think it's the 7.2 or whatever that the Airstream Custom has. Wherever the gears are. But yeah, I have a few different gear sets. One there, and I think there's 1 or 2 behind that one, and then one of the original gears from the Edo AI. So I don't know. I guess I could put brass gears in it, buy that $53 spool, and stick it on the Teton probably. I thought I might want this on the Teton, but I think it has just enough of a blue hue to it that on a red and brown rod, maybe not so much. It'll definitely go good. Well, here's the one I could throw it on. The Ace Hawk CU Double, the best looking Ace Hawk CU Double in existence, because I switched out that crazy 1970s couch, threw it out, and got a new recliner, right? Cork recliner. Fits on there. Sometimes you got to pay attention, like you'll put a reel on a rod, and just the fact that the trigger and where these fingers ride it could either bunch them up, or sometimes there's a case that like it makes them feel like too much room kind of deal. This reel, That doesn't feel bad, but I don't like it on that. CU double, you're out. CU double's out. I could honestly still put it on that. Nah, I don't want to put it on this, but let's just see what it looks like. And you guys still got the Toma? Did any of you guys buy the Toma? The lingo looks real good on the Toma. That, no, not really. Goes on good, feels good. This is one of them that actually does that. It almost feels like there's too much here. So if you got a reel that it feels like it's too tight on most rods, stick it on a rod like with that kind of reel seat, and it'll free it up a little bit. That doesn't feel bad. It actually feels pretty good. Looks a little too modern technology to the old school look. Yeah, that don't really, I don't like that at all. At all. Lingo looks good on there. So, well, here's one. Let's put it on this. Anybody still got a Zephyr? Cast King Zephyr rod, the new reel coming out may be alright. I kind of want a Valiant Eagle rod. I just can't talk myself into spending $85 or $87 or whatever they are. See, this is one that it almost, I don't know. I almost think it sets too far one way or the other. Feels kind of weird on that reel seat. I think it felt best on Teton as far as feel. What do you guys think it looks like on the Zephyr? I don't think it looks right. I think something's not right there. I still don't know what I'm gonna do with this rod. I liked it at first, and then I still like it. I just never end up putting the best I found so far is the Dark Wolf Ultra. The Dark Wolf Ultra just feels good and right and does work good. Problem is I've only had one and I always end up putting it on something else. So I may have to buy another one. So it's looking like, let's just check the feel. Yeah, I think it's already found a home as long as I like the reel. I'll probably put it on the light, and I could always switch it and put it on the ultralight, because I have the ultralight and the light Lure Star streamers, and it just feels, because that's my favorite reel seat like ever made. That thing just feels good. This feels good on it too. It's got enough crazy colors going on that bluish tint chrome looking thing. I like that drag star. I mean, honestly, if it's probably like I think plastic, but looks cool. Looks fine. Looks better than the Dark Wolf Ultra or any of the other Zion ones or whatever. Honestly, it looks better than that. Even though I know that's aluminum, looking at it, it has a cooler look. If they would have took a little more time in the paint or whatever they used to make it even look more chrome, it's not bad. I like it. I'm gonna leave it. I won't worry about trying to replace it because it's so hard too, for one thing, to find a Shimano one that you can interchange. So I'll probably, I don't know, hang on. Let's just make this the record. I'm going for a record, and I really don't have anything to do since I'm not going to the gym. I do have to edit videos, so I'll basically go in, take a shower, and start editing videos. And I took off the freaking thing with it. Oh my goodness. I'm just going to slap this on here real quick, see what it looks like. This is by no means what it's supposed to be. I just want to get a quick look, feel of that. Yeah, I may leave this handle. I just like the way that feels. I really like that handle when I had it on the Calcutta Conquest. Who knows, you may see me with one of these big honking ones on it by the time you guys see it next time. Alright guys, I'm going to end it for sure now. 1 hour and 30 minutes. I got a record. Oh wait, everybody's talking now. Charles says, oh, I care. Should have footage from last weekend. Yeah, so anyway, I do need to get out of here. I got a lot of stuff to do. I'm a busy man. I am actually. A lot busier than I like to be. I bought that thing, 15 bucks. Haven't put it on a reel yet because I'm not sure if I like it on any of them. I ain't gonna lie. That's a cool looking color, but when I put it on a reel, it just doesn't seem to translate how I think it should look or I like it. I mean, the bling, right? Shiny. I've been debating about deanodizing it, polishing it up, and then putting it on something. All right, stay tuned for the Chatterbait deal, the Shimano Aldebaran 22, and what else? Oh, I've got the other Lure Star contest rod. The medium is coming. It should be here. I don't really know because the freaking tracking thing says it don't tell me. Everything else that you saw me unbox and unpackage on the 8th, it said it was where it says this other Dark Wolf Ultra is now. So today's the 11th. So going by that, roughly 3 days, I think I should have the other Dark Wolf Ultra. So be looking forward to another live stream in the next couple days, hopefully to tell you what my Dark Wolf Ultra has and maybe do a shootout video then, or be ready for a shootout. And probably before then, I'm going to get out here, and if nothing else, we'll put a trout magnet on and put it up against this dude versus the new Aldebaran, and maybe that guy and the Airstream Custom. Maybe 2 Daiwas versus Dark Wolf Ultra and the Aldebaran 22. And just see which one to cast the trout magnet the furthest, then go to the little bean thing. Then we'll do an all-around BFS. Maybe with a bunch of reels. We'll see which one can go. Start out like the jelly bean to, I don't know, 10 grams maybe, 8 or 10 grams, and to check distance there. Like, because these are kind of known to be one-hit wonders, right? When you get too light and whatever. This one doesn't. This reel, until I figure out this whole fixed magnets and they've done away with the springs, this was my pick of like the year of all time or whatever as far as bang for your buck. This one was like 70 bucks, 74. The other one I caught on sale was $61 is all I paid for the one coming. So if it still casts as well, this may be the best, you know, especially if you're a BFS guy, but I can put 10 pound on it and throw a lot of regular stuff. I've cranked that brakes up. We've thrown these 3/8 ounce chatterbaits, no issues. So it's a pretty tough reel. As of right now though, I have to put this is still your best all around BFS reel, the Corrado BFS. This should probably take it, honestly, easily. But can it be your best, you know, ultralight BFS reel? Can it take out the Airstream Custom or the Silver Creek? Or can it take the total domination of the best reel ever made from the Zillion? And it's honestly not the Zillion itself, it's that SV Boost spool. There's just something magical about that spool. You guys just have to get one, set them drags where you could cast it super freaking hard, and then as far as how low to how high, you know, you can go with that spool, it's like insane in my opinion. All right guys, thanks for watching. A lot more coming. See you, Charles. Yeah, the reel, yeah, I'm gonna get it to you. Get with me on where you want to go. I'm trying to, maybe if we go Saturday. See, here's the thing about Charles. Charles lives way down here. So when you get done fishing with Charles, you still got an hour and a half or so. Basically, you're going to end up being about a 2 hour to get back home and get settled in. So I hate really doing it on Sundays because I have to kind of leave early enough because I like to recoup on Sunday night. So I'd like to try to get out there, Charles. We'll go fishing maybe Saturday. Heck, maybe Saturday into night. But then if I am going to go fishing with Matt, maybe do a Sunday. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway, get out of here. Go bass and bonsai, guys. Thanks for watching. And if I didn't have to edit all these videos, I'd go fishing through the week down here somewhere close. I got this little test pond that's like 10 minutes, well, maybe 10 minutes away from me. But if I went there, then I'd just have more footage to edit and turn into videos. So, yeah. Struggle is real. It is. Thanks for watching. Go bass and bonsai, but whatever you do, make sure you have fun doing it. I'm going to have fun taking a shower, finding something to eat.